Donald Trump's budget kills a lot of low-income programs, also programs helping rural hospitals and others. Deep cuts to food stamps, welfare, other programs, and guess what? The richest will also benefit from this budget. But more importantly, it targets programs that have helped African-American businesses as well as HBCUs. The budget would eliminate the nearly 50-year-old Minority Business Development Agency. The program is run out of the Department of Commerce. It is the only federal agency established solely to create jobs through the growth of minority-owned businesses in the U.S. I thought he wanted to be the job creator. The Trump administration believes that the MBDA, which helps get minority businesses access to capital, contracts, and markets, duplicates other federal, state, local, and private sector initiatives. Really? Remember that high-profile meeting in February? Oval Office, Trump, HBCU presidents. Well, guess what? No new money for HBCUs. Of course, 2 weeks ago, he promised unwavering support to HBCUs. Well, the budget proposal takes aim at federal financial aid programs that thousands of HBCU students depend on. That includes the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant Program. The $732 million program helps students based on financial need. More than 55,000 HB students would be hurt. Protesters. Several Democratic lawmakers, folks, got some issues here, and they blast the budget proposal as being immoral.
Hands off! Hands off, Mr. President! Hands off! We're going to reject this morally bankrupt budget, and we will resist it here in Congress, but most importantly, in the streets of America.
But White House Budget Chief Mick Mulvaney and Education Secretary Betsy DeVos were on Capitol Hill defending the document that's caused so much drama from both parties.
We are not going to kick any deserving person off of any meaningful program. We want to help people just as much as you do. Republicans care about poor people as much as Democrats.
Well, we couldn't tell by that budget. On the phone right now, joining us is Ron Busby, who is the president and CEO, U.S. Black Chambers, Inc. Bond. Ron, when you look at this budget and how they are impacting minority businesses, your response?
I think this budget really indicates the priorities of this administration. Although we understand that Congress really has to approve the budget, the president sets his priorities in this budget, and you've seen through both the things that he wants to do in reference to increasing the military, increasing spending on defense. He also is gutting all of the programs that have historically helped minorities, African Americans, and small businesses across the country. The MBDA office is out of the Department of Commerce. It has the smallest budget, actually 0.001% of the national spending goes to minority agencies that support local black and small businesses across the country. And to say that we no longer want to see that those agencies have the funding to be able to continue to support the businesses across the country, to me shows that the president is not concerned about local communities, about minority-owned businesses, as well as the communities in which they are operating.
But Ron, I thought he wanted to be the job creator. If you're trying to create jobs, how do you cut money for minority businesses?
I agree, Roland. This budget, the $32 million that this budget has put into effect into the MBDA, you'll understand that for each dollar that is invested, there's $85 of return. Those returns are in contracts. Those returns are in opportunities for loans for small businesses. We understand that in our communities across the country, the number one concern that we have is unemployment. There's actually roughly 2 million unemployed African Americans this morning, but at the same time, there's 2 million African American-owned businesses. Through programs like the MBDA, we're able to keep those businesses in existence, to continue to grow, prosper, and to hire additional employees. This budget really guts all the programs, not just for African Americans, but for the entire minority community, business community, which to me is just the opposite of what this president ran on in reference to creating jobs and opportunities for businesses. To me, this just goes totally against everything that he stood on.
All right, Ron Busby, we sure appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to our panel here. To my right, I have Linda McAllister, Republican strategist, also Ralph Chittum's principal with Black Elephant Consultant, also Republican. Carmen Berkeley, principal with Can't Stop, Won't Stop Strategies. Dr. Julian Malveaux, economist and president emerita of Bennett College. All right, folks, seriously.
Roland, you know, the thing...
What's up with that, Mr. Job Creator?
You know, here's the thing that is really messed up about this. Richard Nixon started the Minority Business Development Agency using the term that you would never think would come out of a Republican mouth, economic justice. In 1968, he said that it was in the interest of our nation for everybody to participate in the capitalistic process. And he used the terms as the interest of economic justice to ensure that people of color had the opportunity to participate. So for that man, 45, and Mulvaney, who has always been about cutting, to go after one of the most dynamic engines. Understand that minority businesses are one of the most dynamic engines of growth in our nation right now. For them to go after that while talking about privatizing infrastructure, there's so much in that budget that's so dangerous. But this piece here is a dangerous piece, and we need to resist it.
Unfortunately, it also shows that, and this has been said about Donald Trump since 2015, since he announced the race, he doesn't really articulate or practice conservatism. You can't both cut the ways for people to get into the middle class and at the same exact time cut access to capital that's going to allow them to create jobs for themselves. And it goes back to what Dr. Malveaux said. Absolutely, it's in the best interest of the country to be able to get people to move them from being locked in generational poverty to get them to the middle class and beyond. And it doesn't seem as though that seems to be the focus. The focus is purely on the bottom line and trying to get that bottom line number down, but you're never going to do that if you can't get people to work.
And Ralph, here's the other issue. If you're talking about, all he talked about last year was how we're not competitive, we're losing to everybody else. How the hell would you cut student aid for college students when you're dealing with $1 trillion in student loan debt, affecting 55,000 HBCU students? Yeah, you ask the question, what the hell do you have to lose? A lot.
Well, the attack on the student loans and the Parent Plus loans, that's something that's been going on in this country, not just under the Donald Trump administration, but under previous administrations.
Right. And Ralph, we covered it on the show, but I was specifically talking about Donald Trump's budget.
And I said that needs to stop. I mean, we all know that education is the key to advancement unless you're going to get into a trade. No, unless you're going to be an electrician or a plumber or something of those natures.
But you still need education there as well.
But you don't need a college degree is what I'm getting at.
Actually, community college certification, but you still need some form of training. Go ahead.
Right. So education clearly is the key to advancement. And it is in the national security interest of this nation to help all of its citizens to get that education because it is in our national interest to do so.
So are black Republicans weighing in, telling Donald Trump what the hell's up with his budget?
Well, and that's exactly what needs to happen, actually.
Well, and I think, number one, I think more of us that are out there need to be doing that. I know I have been. I know that the organization I work with now in Pennsylvania is because, and it goes back to something that Ralph said that people overlook. It's about national sovereignty. We have to win when it comes to innovation. We have to win when it comes to the economy, as well as be ready from a military standpoint. And if
but we're not going to win, and we can't be ready unless we really talk about shared prosperity. This budget does not deal with shared prosperity at all.
Hold on one second. Carmen, Trump kept saying, what the hell do you have to lose to black people? We are seeing a lot to lose with his health care, a lot to lose with his budget, a lot to lose when it comes to HBCUs, when it comes to minority business. We haven't even got to the 6-month point
Exactly.
yet.
I mean, but people thought that Omarosa was going to be the answer to all black things in the White House, and we see that that is indeed not true. I mean, but I'm just saying, you know, people were excited. There was a black woman in the White House, and she's not going to save us. So at least to me, I think that you're absolutely right when you talk about oftentimes black business owners are nonpartisan, and they don't take a side. Now is the time for black business owners, black chambers to take a side, because this isn't just about, this is about communities. It's not just about people building up their businesses and getting more money.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.